Hello and welcome to On The Bench LFC. So for this one, it's the match build-up show, Liverpool versus Spurs. You can tell by the thumbnail I've put Liverpool's secret weapon. What do I mean by that? Well, obviously stick around on this live stream to find out who or what I think is Liverpool's secret weapon. I want to hear what your views are if you think Liverpool have a secret weapon. But I am joined by Connor and Mickey for tonight's stream, and I'm going to be asking them questions about the game, getting their view, score predictions, tactics, all that sort of stuff. And as always, we will bounce off of the live stream to find out what you lot make as well. At this point in time, while we're doing this, Chelsea are actually slapping Arsenal 4-1. So, yeah, I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Please leave a thumbs up. Can we try and hit 150 likes as we always do on this one? And massive shout out to everyone that's joined it live. But if you're not able to watch it live and you watch it back on a replay, leave a comment down below with your score predictions and just your views in general on the match. Right, Connor, Mickey, how are you feeling tonight, guys?
Well, it's 3 days till the Champions League final, and the nerves are not in yet, but I think in a couple of days they are going to kick in. But as of tonight, I am very, very well, and hope everyone in the live chat is doing absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah, Mickey, how do you feel?
I'm starting to get the excitement. I broke up from work now, so it's starting to build up for me.
Yeah, it's creeping. My nerves are getting stronger by the day. I see Prez, Leon, Fabinho, Rossi, C. Senor, Michael. Good to see you all in the building. Leon and Lee as well. Thomas Billings. Massive shout out to all of you lot. Thank you for joining. How are you lot in the chat feeling? That is a question for all of you. That's the first question really to everyone. Are you feeling more nervous now as it's getting closer? It's 3 days. 3 days. So we're not far off at all now. Are you dreaming about it yet, Mickey?
Oh, I'm dreaming of Jordan Henderson lifting big ears. I've been dreaming about this for 2 years. So
yeah. What about you, Connor? Are the dreams creeping in yet?
Mate, as the same as Mickey, 2 years ago, I've been starting the dream since then, and it hasn't ended yet. And hopefully by Sunday morning, I'll wake up and it won't be a dream. It will be a coronation of Liverpool winning the Champions League.
Yeah, no dreams, just realities. That's what we want, isn't it, eh? So, just for anyone that doesn't know, if they've been living under a rock or they want to know, when is the Champions League final? The Champions League final will take place on Saturday, June the 1st at 8 p.m. What TV channel is it on? There is exclusive live coverage on BT Sports. Also, you can watch it free on YouTube and on BT's app as well. As most people will be watching the Arsenal-Chelsea game on YouTube tonight. I think from the most of your lot's messages to me, it will be exactly the same for our final as well, everyone. Same as what it was last year, basically. So, shall we get starting with score predictions? So basically, on the screen for everyone, what they can see... wrong one. Let me just change the screen. Now you can see my score prediction up on the screen below here. I've gone for a 4-2 score prediction for me, everyone, all right? And I'm going to put my starting 11 up on the screen, but I'm going to be asking Mickey and Connor their starting 11s and firstly their score predictions. But as always, if you're in the live chat, let's start with score predictions. Put your score predictions in the live chat. Mickey, I'll ask you first, mate. Mine's 4-2. What's your prediction for Saturday?
I'm going for 3-1.
Oh, do you think it's going to be a close game for the majority of it, and then Liverpool maybe get an extra goal at the end? Do you think it'd be like 2-1? Mane scores a late one or something. How do you see it panning out?
I think we're going to go back to old school Klopp, try and smash them early, get 3-0 up, and then sit on the game in the second half, and that's where they'll probably get their goal. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that would be nice. And Connor, what is your score prediction, mate?
So, my score prediction, I'm going with a solid 2-0. And I think we'll control the game. I think Klopp learned from the second half against Spurs at home. And I think he'll know when Spurs come on the counter-attack, we need to be a bit more settled. And I think if we can get that first goal and then just control the game, I think that would be the perfect scenario. So, yeah, I'm going for a 2-0.
Yeah, that'd be lovely if we can be at least a couple of goals ahead, like mine 4-2. Mickey's gone with a 3-1 and Connor 2-0. So 2 goals for all of us, a 2-goal lead. We all want to see a 2-goal lead. So what are people saying in live chat? It's a 3-1, says Pierre. David says 4-1 from Cornwall. Massive shout out to you, David. Leon says 2-1, so Leon's gone with a closer score. Rossi's got 5-1, front three all to score. Thank you so much for yours, Rossi. Free Nippo says 3-1 to LFC as well. So yeah, I think a lot of people are going for at least a 2-goal cushion or a 2-goal lead for Liverpool in that game. For me, I do still feel like it's going to be a close game. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel like Liverpool are just going to walk it. We could, and anything is possible in football, but I'm just looking at both teams and what Klopp said. They're both similar, and the only reason there was a massive gap in the Premier League is because of consistency. Do you agree with Klopp on that, Mickey?
Yeah, I actually do. I think there's been some great sides in the Premier League over the years, but their consistency has been very poor. We've had a few sides like that, haven't we? That's why we haven't challenged for the league, but we've done well in cups. I do agree with that because on paper, there isn't much between all the top 6 teams, is there really? It's just the consistency.
Yeah, I agree. And what about you, Connor? What's your views on that?
I 100% agree. I think this Spurs team is similar to ours from last season. I think that they have the quality there, but it was like us last year. We couldn't keep the consistency levels up in the Premier League, but we were flying in Europe. And yeah, I think that next season, if they can find that consistency, I think Spurs are going to be a challenger for the title at least.
Yeah, people are saying about them maybe buying in this transfer window. Obviously, there's a couple of rumours there, of course. But as far as this Champions League final is concerned, it comes down to what some people are saying is the experience of it. And do you think Spurs are going to be looking at maybe the gap in the Premier League and thinking they're a lot better than us? Or do you think they're going to have the same illusion that was just a consistency thing? We can beat them on the day. Mickey, what do you think?
So Spurs will be thinking they can beat us on the day. They were unlucky at Anfield to lose. That, you know what I mean? Let's be honest. In the second half, they did play. They were the better side. We were the better side in the first half. A draw was a fair result. We snatched a winner from a goalkeeping mistake, and you know, so they must be confident going in. It's a one-off game. For me, the only advantage we got over him isn't how well our points total in the league is the fact that we were there last year and this isn't something new for us, and something new is a bit more nervy, and it could affect Spurs like it affected us last year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking at the 2 games, what I see online is a lot of people saying that the Spurs comeback against Ajax was better than what Liverpool's against Barcelona's was, and I think for me, Liverpool's was better. I think that anyway. I think that would be the same even if I wasn't a Liverpool supporter, but I am. So I am going to think that anyway. But Liverpool obviously won 4-0, 4-3 on aggregate. I mean, Ajax versus Tottenham finished 3-2, which was 3-all on aggregate, but Spurs obviously got through on away goals. Do you think, Connor, that Spurs are going to be maybe looking at them 2 games and looking at, you know, what Liverpool did to Barcelona and whether that might play on their minds in these 3 weeks that they've had to build up to the final?
I think 3 weeks for a final, like the separation from like the last game of the season, I think literally everything is out of Spurs' mind. I think they'll go in there. It's like we got one more game, like the 1 game mentality. It's like we can do this, so we have to be careful of that. And I think that I agree with Mickey. I think the only other psychological difference in this game is we were there last year and we know what it's like to be in a Champions League final. This is Spurs' first final in ages, so I think that is the only other thing that's in Spurs' mind, maybe. But apart from that, I think they'll just give us everything they got, and we just gotta look at it and just like pour out our defences and our attacks. And we need to be on point for this game. There's nothing, you can't say anything else than that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ross is saying we have the experience over them. We know what it's like to lose. We're just a much better team. Colin says if we run them down in the first half, they usually collapse in the second half. Michael's saying, I'm saying 2-1, Bobby, Lucas, and then Van Dijk with the winner. So maybe big Van Dijk steps up to, from a cross, from a free kick or a corner and gets the winner for us. I'm looking at the game and I'm thinking that you can't help but feel, Mane said it, we are favourites and we can't hide from it. And looking at it from a Liverpool point of view, we shouldn't be hiding from it. We should be going into it full of confidence. We've got to turn up. As Connor said, we've got to be at our game. As a lot of us Liverpool fans have said leading up to the final, we know we've got to turn up. We know we've got to play. We know it's going to be a tough game. But I can't help but feel with Spurs just being happy that they've got to a final, and then looking at how Liverpool have played this year in the Premier League, we've been there, we've got the experience. I hope that in the back of their minds there's a little something that is telling them that, we are the favourites, and that does affect them. Mickey, do you think in a professional footballer's head things like that do creep in? Maybe the night before the match, maybe?
No, the professional footballers. Do you know what I mean? They all believe they're the best. They all believe they're good. They all believe they can win. I just don't think... from kids now, they're trained psychologically. There's a lot of that goes into modern football now. It's not like the old days where they used to just get put in it and they were left alone. Everything's looked at, the fitness, the mental health and everything else. I really don't believe that things nerves. To me, the only difference is the difference in experiences for players and hunger. I think that's the difference for a professional footballer.
Yeah, I agree, mate. When asked about Son or Kane, Matip obviously responded in the press conference, it doesn't matter, we'll defend as a team and we'll deal with whoever. So Connor, do you think that, Liverpool are looking at that because there's the chance that Harry Kane could come back into the game? Do you think they've all got the same beliefs as what Matip has there, that it doesn't matter who they feel, whether Harry Kane's back fit or not? Do you think that's something that Liverpool might be concerned about? Do you think it gives Jurgen Klopp and, the coaches a bit of a headache, not really knowing who Spurs are going to feel? Whereas it kind of falls down to the same starting 11 for Liverpool. Maybe you're looking at Genie or Milner, but... what do you reckon on that, Connor?
I think it'll give Jurgen Klopp a bit of a headache on who starts and who doesn't. But I think whoever Spurs put out, I think Jurgen Klopp will tactician it perfectly. I think that if it's Kane, then I think statistically Spurs are worse with Harry Kane than they are without. So I think Jurgen Klopp might look at that. But I think... to what Matip said, we don't care. I don't care if it's Son or Kane. I think all the teams like that. Like, when you think about it, we have the best defense in England, and we're playing an English team. Yeah. So we've conceded. Well, we beat Spurs twice this season, 2-1. So we know what to expect from Spurs with Harry Kane and without. So, in my opinion, I think Liverpool will go into the game with the same mentality and they won't care who starts or who doesn't.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Rami says 5-0 to LFC. Thank you very much for your answer there on score prediction. Yusuf says you're Neville Clone. You're Neville Clone to you. Thank you for joining us today. Big Virgil will have Kane in his pocket, says Ian. I think so. I'm looking at Joel Matip. I'm looking at Van Dijk. I'm looking at Fabinho. And I'm thinking to myself... Kane kind of fits the mould of player that we are better equipped to deal with these days. Maybe back a couple of years ago, a couple of seasons ago, Kane bothered us more than what he would now. The player that really bothers me would be Moura. Moura, Son, they're two players that I think could cause us problems. Mickey, what's your views on that? Do you think we're able to deal with a player like Harry Kane now, even if he was fully fit?
I think a fully fit Kane, we're still capable of dealing with him. A half-fit Kane, we'd definitely deal with. And I think this is desperation from Spurs to get him in. he's not going to be any more than 25% fit, is he? He's not played for a long time. And this is his second major injury this year. So, and when he did come back last time, Spurs went on that horrible run and they didn't have many shots on target and the game was all off. I think they're far better with Son and Moura.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I do as well. And I think it'd be stupid to upset the balance for them, but I will take it as a Liverpool supporter. Anything from that side is good. Mark says, hi, Daz, how are you? I'm very good. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for joining us tonight. Liverpool Football Club as well. Hello to you. So basically, we're talking about Harry Kane coming in to the team. It's very similar to what Liverpool did with Lallana last Champions League final. Do you remember? It was like he was rushing to get fit and he didn't have an effect, did he, for us? Connor?
No, he didn't. You could tell straight away when he came on the pitch for Mo Salah, he wasn't at the races that day. And okay, Spurs could come out and say, oh, Harry Kane is 100% fit, but he is about 20% match fit. Because how long has he been out for? It's months. So it's just, I agree with the sense that the more threatening forward line we could face is Son and Lucas Moura. I think if they bring Harry Kane into that starting 11, I think that brings the advantage to us even more. It's like what Mickey said, they went on a terrible run without scoring and without loads of shots. So I think that if they do play Kane, it's definitely in our hands.
Yeah, no, I agree. So for anyone that's watching that didn't know, Chelsea have just won 4-1. So it is officially Chelsea in the Super Cup, ladies and gentlemen. So we know what we've got to do. And yeah, anyone that watched that game, obviously let us know your views on whether you think we'll be capable of doing them if we do make it through. I think we will, hopefully. Darren says, hello everyone, good to see you in here tonight. Gary as well, DZB is getting warmed up. He's doing the Mexican wave, he's getting ready. Ross says, hey, good to see you tonight, and Father Nature as well. Lee says, don't see Kane as a threat, to be honest. I'm not looking at him as a threat at all, mate. I think more as the one. He got a hat-trick, didn't he, in that game, and I thought that he was a menace, to be honest. Do you feel that our players, are looking at Moura tactically equipped to be able to deal with Moura? Because I think he's more of a goal poacher, isn't he? Do you think that kind of causes Liverpool more problems than what Kane does? Because we're talking about him not being a problem. Does he worry you, is my question. Mickey?
No, it doesn't. To be honest, with our defence, nobody really worries me. Listen, we played the best attacking team in Europe, Barcelona. And I know we got smashed at their place, but that was never a 3-0. We played far better than that. They had proper world-class players. The Spurs players aren't in the same class as Barcelona players. And that's an argument everyone can have in the chat. But you think we beat the champions of Spain, the champions of Germany. You know what I mean? You look at our running, it's been a little bit harder than theirs, to be honest. Yeah.
Connor, do you want to add to that? Do you think he is a threat? Let me reword this. Who is the most player for Spurs that you would be scared of going into this final? Which one stands out to you that we should worry about?
I would say Heung-min Son, because he's a very versatile player and he can play on the right, in the middle, or even on the left. And to change maybe tactics, if Kane comes on off the bench and then Son's changed positions, then there's another threat and you have to change everything around. So I think that's a little bit of a worry to think about. But I do also agree. I think that I just don't think this defence will worry about, I don't think they worry about Lucas Moura. I think they don't worry about Harry Kane. But it's just you don't want to say it because you don't want to jinx it. But I do think this Liverpool defence will pocket any of the front three or even four of Spurs.
Yeah, I agree. Pablo's in the building. Good to see you. It's Paul from Twitter. Good to know, Pablo. Paul. Thank you for joining us tonight, mate. Ois says hello. Good to see Oiskin here. John says, time and time again, Spurs rush Harry Kane back from injury just to get injured even worse. Yeah, it doesn't look good for Kane, does it, in that scenario, really? Darkness says, we've been here before. Also, our midfield and defence are tactically better than Ajax. Also, they have height, so should not lose to Llorente in the air. Oh, yes, I totally get what you're on about there. We've got height as well to be able to match Llorente. Eriksen's creativity scares me. Satisfy, I'm glad you brought up Eriksen, because looking at it from a Liverpool point of view, I think our midfield need to work hard on shutting down Eriksen before he can look up and release a pass, because I think he's a bit of a trigger man, isn't he, in midfield? Mickey, do you think that's something that we need to keep an eye on when it comes into this game, Eriksen?
Definitely, because here, master of long shots. He comes into the box quite a bit. He's a dangerous player. But going to your question, to me, the man I'm most frightened of is Dele Alli. I think he's going to be the dark horse for them.
Yeah. See, I'm not worried about Dele Alli at all. I feel like Dele Alli is just... He's not at the level that I felt like he was once. And I don't want to jinx it, so I don't want to say too much. But... he's just not one of the players on my list that I'm thinking, oh God, massive threat for them on the weekend. But like you say, you said that he could be a bit of a dark horse in that sense. So we do know that he has got ability. We have seen it before. So he is one that we do need to keep an eye on as well. Fabinho will take care of Eriksen, says Pierre. Yeah, Fabinho's got a massive job in this game. Spurs fans have been saying that their midfield will run right against our midfield. So let's start talking about starting 11s. Let's get onto that before we continue with anything else. So what you can see up on the screen in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, is obviously my starting 11, and you can see my score prediction as well. But obviously, Alisson, Trent, Matip, Virgil and Robbo, I think picks itself, but I will ask you, Mickey and Connor, because I think the main question there is Matip or Gomez at centre-back. So Mickey, you first.
Matip. And I'll tell you why. He's played himself into the team. He doesn't deserve to be dropped. It may be unfair on Gomez. When he got injured, he was top, but Matip stepped in and done a great job. And I want to see one of them Matip Messi style runs as well in the final.
Yeah, bombing up the pitch. Fabinho drops in, keeps cover at the back, and hopefully Matip can open them up. Connor, what about you, mate? Matip or Gomez?
100% Matip. I think he's been, ever since Joe Gomez unfortunately got injured, he's been brilliant. I think he's been Liverpool's underrated player of the season. I think that many people now still underestimate him. And yeah, I agree with Mickey. If we can get one of those messy long runs and hopefully maybe a goal from it, then yeah, I'd love to see that in the final.
Yeah, I actually think when we're talking about, when I was looking at who I'm going to pick, I agree with both what the lad said, and I can see Mark, Pierre, everyone in the live chat, RO saying Matip as well for them. I was looking at Matip and I was thinking he's been incredible this season. I think it would be very unfair if he did not start in the Champions League final. But I was also looking at it that something that we need to look at, and we will talk about the key points leading into the game, areas where it would be won and lost and tactics and stuff like that. But I think Spurs are going to be looking very much to try and get at Matip and Trent. That is going to be the side that they will try and target, because Robbo and Virgil, there's nothing that you're going to do really that is going to affect them too. Yes, teams can get down that side occasionally, but it's very rare. Trent and Matip are still strong, but I feel like teams consider them the weaker side of that defence. So Matip, for me, I think is the one that is going to have the tougher task in defence out of obviously him and Virgil, but he did it against Barcelona, and you look Messi in that, they was trying to avoid Van Dijk and they was running into Matip. So Mickey, do you think that this game we're going to see another great performance from Joel Matip, or what's your overall views on this? Do you think Trent and Matip will be able to do a job against the likes of Moura and Son down that side?
Yeah, Matip's going to be okay. The reason they try and do that side is because Trent does like to go forward a lot and they see a bit more space there. But we've had a lot of teams target that area over the last few weeks of the season, and we've coped pretty well with it in the end. I know we had a few dodgy games, but I think we know to expect that, and I think Klopp already knows, and we're set up for that. And to me, honestly, Spurs play with wide fullbacks getting forward. The further forward Robbo and Trent are, the less likely Spurs are to attack us.
Yeah, no, I agree. Lucy says 3-1 to LFC. Good to see you tonight, Lucy. Massive shout out to you. I hope you're very well. Had a good day. So obviously moving on from the defence, we're talking about more about tactics and where they are going to try and attack us and where we will attack them as well. But my midfield three is Jordan Henson, Fabinho and Gini. Now I'll come to you first, Connor, on this one. I went with Gini. The other two, I think, are going to be at most people's starting 11s. But the real question is Gini or Milner to be part of that midfield three. Who would you pick? What's your midfield three, and why would you go with Gini or Milner, whichever one you pick?
So I agree with what you said. I think Henderson and Fabinho pick themselves, really, in this team. And the real question is, do you pick Gini or do you pick Milner? And I've gone with you with Gini Wijnaldum. I think that after that Barcelona game, I think he deserves the spot, even though James Milner was brilliant in that game also. But I feel like if we are, for example, winning 2-1 or 1-0, I think Milner can come on and settle the game perfectly. And I think that's the reason why we would start Gini over Milner. I think he can just come on, settle the game down, calm the boys down, and then just drive us to the winning line. And yeah, that's my reasoning for Gini Wijnaldum starting.
Yeah. Mickey, what about you, buddy?
So I've been torn over this, and I've been thinking about this for the last 3 days, but I think it will be the same three as you. Simply because, to me, I think at the moment that's our best midfield. I agree with Connor that Milner is important to come on later on to calm it down if it needs to. But Milner can also turn it around and be a forward threat. So he's quite handy. And also, Milner is going to have to play at some point in case it goes to penalties, because you need your best penalty taker on the pitch at some point.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be asking you two who your penalty takers will be in a little bit as well. But yeah, I was looking, when I was going with Gini, I was thinking to myself, obviously Gini was a fantastic super sub against Barcelona. So I was kind of thinking to myself, do you start with Milner and do you bring Gini on, and will he have the same impact on this game? Or then I had the same beliefs as what you two both said there, that James Milner, you bring him on with his experience, with fresh legs, he can calm the game down, as we've heard Klopp and him speak about in the past. But also, I'm looking at it that, God forbid anything does happen, but say like against Barcelona, Robbo had to go off, you've got someone on the bench in James Milner that can come on and play at left back. He can come on, he can play at right back. He can come on, he can play in midfield. He can come on, he can play on the wing. He is that person. Gini Wijnaldum being on the bench is not going to come on and play at left back. Yes, Milner, if he was already on the pitch, could drop to left back. But what you've got to remember is, as the game gets on with a long season that they've had, if James Milner's already played and it goes to extra time or whatever and he started from the beginning, trying to play that left back role, right back role, and getting up and down the pitch, I think we would lose a bit of our creativity going forwards in the game if Milner, had to play one of them roles. I hope that doesn't happen, but one of my concerns was just looking at Robbo and what he was saying when he played in the last game of the season. He felt the injury still, and I just hope that nothing does happen in the Champions League final. But that was why I went with Gini starting and James Milner to be an absolute impact sub. The experience, and can cover a number of positions if we need him as well. So moving on to the front three. Now, there is a question mark here as well, which for a lot of the season, there wouldn't have been question marks over that front three. It would have been Salah, Bobby, Mane, which I've gone with, as you can see on the screen. But Origi, outstanding against Barcelona. His quick thinking, his high pressing, the big goals that he scores for us. Some people are saying he's that striker that we've got in the team, that maybe Bobby isn't an out-and-out striker. Maybe what Bobby does is fantastic for the team. As Matip says, he's our first defender from the front. But Origi's a goal scorer and Bobby can get the goals. But I had to go with Bobby. If he's fully fit, I have to start with Bobby up front because I think everything that bloke does, defending from the front, creating space for Salah and Mane, you're playing with 3 strikers up there. You're not just playing... Bobby's not the one that I think is expected to get the goals. I think Salah and Mane are your main goal scorers, and I think Bobby just is the glue. He's the glue in between them. He's the glue between the midfield and the 2 strikers as well, that he plays alongside. Whereas Origi, I think we do play different when Origi's up there. He's more of a hold-up man, I think, which he's done well recently. But I want to get everyone's views, obviously, in a live chat with this as well. Are you one of the people that wants to see Divock come in for the final? Is it unfair on him if he doesn't get selected for the final as well? But Mickey, I will ask you first on this. What's your front 3? And if you put Origi in ahead of Bobby, give me your reasons why, mate.
No, it's got to be the front 3, hasn't it? They are by far our best, and they're the most feared front 3 in the whole of Europe. And like you said, Bobby makes everything tick for Salah and Mane. He gives them space. He finds them with beautiful passes. He does all the hard work, all the tackling back. He's immense, and he's vitally important to this side. And I think that's why they brought him slowly back. And he's started full training now, I believe. So to me, that's a sign he's going to start. And I think I'd rather have Origi as an impact sub than a starter.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Brian says, hi, Daz. Hi, Brian. Good to see you in here today. Mark says, our main 3. Pierre says, Divock, impact sub. Liverpool Football Club says, best front 3. Ashley says, hey, Daz. Hope everyone is well. Thank you for joining us tonight, Ash, mate. Good to see you in here. Monis has got Bobby to start. So I think a lot of people are saying about Bobby, but I did see a comment a minute ago, and it's jumped from me, but it was basically saying that they wouldn't risk Bobby because he obviously with his injury recently, they don't want to risk it. Connor, do you think, firstly, what would be your front 3, and do you think it is a risk maybe starting Bobby in the final, because we don't want to see Bobby start and then have to come off 20 minutes into the game?
I agree with what the both of you. I think the front 3 has to start. I think it's, like what Mickey said, it's the most feared front 3 in the whole of Europe. But I also, to what you just said, I think that Klopp wouldn't start him if he wasn't confident he could play the game. Obviously, he could come off the bench and Divock could play, but I think if we need that impact, I think Divock Origi would be brilliant from the bench. And if Bobby Firmino was still injured, and I'd love Divock Origi to start. I think after that Barcelona game, I think he deserves a statue in front of Anfield. But yeah, apart from that, no, the front 3 starts for me.
Yeah, Chris says Divock done brilliantly and has probably earned himself a new contract, but I think you will understand it's got to be the 3 amigos. Thank you so much for your opinion there. Yeah, now something that I want to point out when we're talking about this as well, if Bobby starts but has to come off and Origi replaces him, and it was for some reason to end up going to penalties, who do you think's the best penalty taker out of Bobby and Origi, Mickey?
Bobby.
Yeah,
definitely Bobby. I think he's a better penalty taker.
So then, is that something that Klopp might be looking at as well? That he might want maybe Bobby as a sub in this game to be able to come on if it did go to penalties.
To be honest, if Origi only comes on to try and score a winner, I don't think penalties will be on the mind. I can't see the front 3 coming off unless we are heavily in front and they're confident and they just want to give Bobby a rest. I can see all 3 of them finishing if it's tight.
Yeah, definitely. And Connor, your views on that, mate? Which one do you think is the best penalty taker?
I between the 2, I think that Bobby Firmino is the better out of the 2. I haven't really seen Divock take a penalty, I don't think, but we obviously seen Bobby take one.
I've just got a funny feeling in my head that Divock would just be a belter at penalties. I don't know. he seems like he's quite clinical in certain areas. I mean, Bobby can be, but there's other times that, I don't know, I have an image in my head that Bobby might try a no-look penalty, which he wouldn't do, but can you imagine? I couldn't stand it. You know, Pierre saying no penalties. No, we definitely don't want it to go to penalties, everyone, do we? Right, let's move on from that anyway. So we've got the starting 11s from us, everyone, and thank you to everyone that's also given us your views on that. So, talking about penalties there, God, we don't want it to go that far, but Mickey, who do you think steps up to take the penalties for Liverpool?
Oh, God, now you've asked me. Salah, Mane, Bobby, Genie, Milner. They're my first 5. Not Henderson, by the way. Remember England?
Yep. Connor, what about you, mate?
Oh, I don't want it to go penalties because I literally would be hiding behind a pillow if it
Neither
does.
do I.
But my 5 are James Milner, Fabinho, Mo, Bobby, and Sadio. I think that would be my 5 for the penalties.
Yeah, I think I need to add Fabinho into it as well because he had a fantastic penalty record, didn't he? What was it? Was it a pre-season? I can't remember what game it was, but he took a penalty and I think he missed, didn't he?
Yeah,
am I right in saying that? Yeah, so obviously people was like, I thought he was meant to be like an expert at penalties and he missed one. But yeah, for me, I think Fabinho would be in there. Milner's obviously in there. I think Salah's in there, isn't he, for definite. I think Genie, I've said it, Genie, even in the press conference, he just was talking like he said, he doesn't feel pressure. He said he can't speak for the whole team, but he doesn't feel pressure. So on that side of things, I think Genie might be one of the ones that might put his hand up and go, let me take a penalty, boss. But we really don't want it to come to that stage of the game, everyone, do we? Thank you to everyone that's put in their penalty takers in there as well. You know, Chris is saying, oh yeah, Fabinho. When Connor said it, I was like, yeah, I would have to have Fabinho take one as well. I don't like pens at all, says Aro. Me neither, my friend. Right. So, will Spurs play 4 at the back or 3 at the back? And if they do, Mickey, how do you think Liverpool are going to combat that? Do you think that would keep our left and right back? Say if they, I don't know, you look at the second half against Liverpool at Anfield, they tweaked their system and it meant that our left and right back didn't get as much joy. They couldn't push as far up the pitch. What do you think they're going to do when it comes to the defensive side of their game?
Well, they might go 3 at the back to combat our front 3. But have they played 3 at the back this season? I'm not really sure they have. I think Pochettino's, he's a true believer in his style of football. I still believe he'll play exactly the same as he did at Anfield and the same he did at Wembley against us with a back 4. Yeah.
Yeah, Connor, what about you, mate? Do you think they go with a 3 at the back or do you think they go 4 at the back and try and stay tight?
I think if they go with the 3, I think they're signing their own death warrant.
Yeah.
Against the front 3. I think that if they do that, I think our front 3 will just walk all over them. But if they do go to a 4, I think that would probably be best for them. Because, like I just said, if they go for a 3, then I think our front 3 would just destroy them. But yeah, for me, it would be a back 4, like they did at Anfield in the second half.
Yeah. I think they had 3 at the back in the first half at Anfield, says Rossi. Yeah, they definitely had to change it, Rossi, because we were just getting too much joy. Our left and right backs were just pulling them apart, to be honest. I mean, all of a sudden they tweaked it. They was a bit more structured and wider, and that was where the game started to change for them, to be honest. Milner, Mane, Fabinho, Shaqiri, and the captain is mine. That must be the penalty takers from Smile there. Thank you so much for you giving me your answers to that. Bilal says, I don't want penalties if it comes to that. Milner, Salah, Bobby, Mane, Origi. Thank you so much to all of you for your penalty takers. 3 at the back will get high press, says Pierre. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. My views on it, because I've seen people online, Spurs fans, saying that they are probably going to start with 3 at the back. I think that's a massive mistake, as Colin said. I think Liverpool then can press them high up. I think we'll get a lot of joy. We'll be able to turn over play quickly and really get at them and dominate them. But I'm looking at this game, and I think where Liverpool will get a lot of joy isn't actually from the left and right back, but I will ask Connor and Mickey and you lot in the live chat where you think we will get a lot of joy. But for me personally, it comes into the secret weapon. As you saw on the thumbnail, Liverpool's secret weapon. And Liverpool's secret weapon for me is Jordan Henderson. Now, Jordan Henderson is playing more of that attacking role now. He's been unleashed, hasn't he, after his little conversation with the manager. It's late runs into the box. And Genie will do that as well. But I think Spurs will be concentrating a lot on trying to shut down and stop our left and right back from getting any supply into the box. But Liverpool with late runs in from midfield will actually cause them a lot of problems. And if they're trying to follow them runs and track them runs, that means that a right back or left back can then get down the byline and whip it in. So, Mickey, do you see where my head is at with that? Do you think that that's something that Jurgen Klopp might have been looking at and talking to the boys about in training? Maybe some late runs into the box. I mean, look at Genie's goal, for instance, against Barcelona. Late run in, bang, keeps it low, straight into the back of the net.
Do you know, I've got to agree with you. I think Jordan Henderson will be underestimated. And honestly, I can see Jordan getting a goal.
Yeah.
I truly believe. I think Salah will score twice and Henderson will score the other one.
Yeah, I would love to see Jordan Henderson score in this one. Obviously, lifting a trophy is the main thing that we want to see him do, but I think with the amount of effort that he's putting in and playing in a more attacking role, that would be fantastic. I mean, you look at the goal that Origi got the tap in, but Jordan Henderson, he just drove into their penalty area and was unlucky that the keeper got his hand to it. Origi finishes it off. But this is what I'm saying. I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking Jordan Henderson is going to be making them runs all game because he will not stop running. So if he does that in this game, that's Liverpool's secret weapon for this. A lot of people talking about Trent, talking about Robbo, are going to be whipping balls in left, right and centre. But I think Spurs, even though Pochettino says they're not looking at the games that we played against them previously, they would have been. And they know the threat that our left and right back causes. So that's the main problem for any team that plays us. One, it's trying to deal with that, which is not easy for anyone. And two, that is going to open up a bit of space for them runs, straight down the middle. And I think Jordan Henderson's going to be the main one doing that because I see, even though Genie can do that, I think Genie's going to be the one that will play more of a, out of Henderson and Genie, I think Genie will be the one that will sit back a bit deeper and just mop up a little bit with Fabinho, and he will make some runs in when Henderson's probably not bombing forwards. But Connor, what's your views on that, mate? Do you agree with me on that one, or do you see it going a bit differently?
I fully agree with you. I think that Spurs will fully underestimate Jordan Henderson. I think that Jordan Henderson, since transforming into the 8 role, has been nothing but brilliant. Making runs, making chances, scoring. It's what we wanted from Jordan Henderson. But I have a feeling that my dark horse is going to be Alisson Becker. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like his match awareness has gotten a lot better, even since we last played Spurs, and that was only I think 2 months ago, something like that. But if he can just ping a ball to maybe Mane on a quick counter attack, if they play a 3 at the back, I think if Alisson can just ping a ball to one of the wingers, then I think we'll definitely put him in a load of trouble. And I think maybe if we can break quickly from Alisson as well, I think we'll definitely put a lot of pressure on Spurs.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. Gabriel says, hi, good to see you tonight, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Liverpool Football Club says he agrees. Eddie says, no one is saying it, but everyone is thinking it. Liverpool 5, Spurs 0. Obviously, with the Arsenal-Chelsea game tonight, that was a high-scoring game that I don't think a lot of people really predicted, especially not Chelsea winning it. I think a lot of people I spoke to said Arsenal. So we're looking at the final and a lot of people are going with a lot of goals in it, but could it just be the fact that Liverpool are the ones scoring all the goals? I hope so. Anyway, Michael says, Daz, were you Welsh bro from? Where's my Welsh bro from? Connor. I don't think Connor wants to say where he's from because people have asked him that before, but as people said, he's my Jamaican psychic as well, because someone thought he was Jamaican, didn't they? Liverpool look better in the final. Yeah, hope so, mate. Ali, all is good for picking a fight with, says Richard. Dele Alli, yes, definitely. I think if we start getting at them early, being aggressive on the press, there's a few players that Spurs have got that might get a bit agitated, and Dele Alli is definitely one of them. Eriksen's a professional and does keep his calm more than someone like Ali would, but I think if he's not getting much luck, if every time he's getting on the ball he's not got room to breathe, then he will get flustered as well. I think we could really get at them, and I think looking at this game, the key to it for me is that Liverpool start fast, they start early, we press high, and we're just aggressive. And when we're in possession of the ball, we need to keep the ball moving fast, whether that's getting it down the wings, or whether we're doing late runs into the box, as I was talking about with Henderson, Genie being very key to that. I really do feel like as long as we're moving the ball quickly and then clinical when we've got that momentum going, I think Spurs being in the final and haven't got as much experience as Liverpool, I think we could nick a couple of early goals. And if that happens by half time, Pochettino would do his best to try and get their heads up. But how much can you get a team's head up? When their biggest achievement is getting to the Champions League final. Liverpool's achievement last year was getting to the Champions League final. We lost, and we know what it's like. So, we're a step ahead of them in that sense, as we've all rightly said. So, yeah, for me, Mickey, I think the key is Liverpool need to dictate this game. Don't let them get momentum early on in the game and really take it to them fast. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I'll give you two finals this week where Villa went in and controlled the game from start to finish. It was 2-1. I know it was a one goal lead, but Villa were the outright winners on the match. And tonight, Chelsea, as soon as they went ahead, they just were clinical and never took the foot off the gas and won 4-1. You've got to control this game. Then we'll leave it open for them to get back into it and possibly, get a result against us. We've got to hit them hard. We've got to hit them high, and we've had 3 weeks rest. There's no one can say to me the players have had a long season and they're tired. They've just had 3 weeks rest.
Yeah, Connor, what's your views on that, mate? Obviously, we're going to speak about the 3 weeks in a second. I'm glad Mickey's brought that up. But what do you think? Liverpool come out the blocks fast. As long as we're clinical and really take it to them, do you agree that, that is how you can drop the heads of the Spurs players?
100%. I think we need to go in there like what you and Mickey said and just literally steamroll them and just control the game from start to finish. I think that if we could do that first half at Anfield, and if we could do that for the whole 90 minutes, then I think without a doubt we win. I think maybe bringing in that heavy metal football like Jurgen Klopp likes for maybe the first 15, 20 minutes and then see what we can do with that. But yeah, I think we need to dominate from the off. We need to not be like in some games lackadaisical where we we'll just do a sloppy pass and all like that. We need to be crisp. We need to be perfect, because Spurs will punish us if we are not at the races.
Yeah, I mean, Lucy's saying, I agree, Daz. When LFC play like that, no one can live with us. I think that's what I'm looking at, is we've seen us play like that many of times, and you think to yourself, 20-minute spells in games, God, if Liverpool played like that constantly, no one would ever beat us, because when we do it and we turn the switch on, we're so aggressive that teams just panic, they lose their head. And you're looking at Spurs and you think, if you do that to them early on in this game, they panic and they lose their head, because not only are they at the Champions League final, but Liverpool all of a sudden are crushing them from the off. That is where I think we can win the game early. You need to win the mental game early on in this one. I don't want to see people are saying that they think it could be a cagey final, 3 weeks off, and stuff like that. So obviously I'm going to speak to Mickey and Connor about that in a minute, but I don't want to see any cagey play from Liverpool. I don't want to see us be like, oh, we've got to stay strong at the back. Of course we've got to stay strong at the back, but that doesn't mean that you don't move the ball quick. That doesn't mean that you try and make them late runs into the box. You've really got to get at them, and you've got to put them on the back foot, because if you give them momentum to grow into the final, that is when they will hurt you. And we saw it, how they started to come back against us at Anfield. That's not what I want to see. I don't want to see Spurs get any time to breathe. That is how I want to see this final go. Liverpool just have more heart, they have more legs, they have more everything. I want to see us play like lions. I want to see us eat them. I want to see us spit them out afterwards. You know what I mean? Just say, well done for getting to the Champions League final, but it was never going to be your day. That is what I want to see. That's what I want to be speaking about afterwards. But it's easy to say, it's not as easy to do that. So Mickey, you said obviously the 3 weeks off, you don't want to hear that about their long seasons and stuff like that. Klopp said himself he would rather take 3 weeks than 3 days. What's your overall views on this? People are saying that, you know, we're not going to see the best Champions League final that we probably would have seen because it is such a big gap. What is your views on it?
So for me, both teams are playing the Premier League, so both have the 3 weeks. If we were playing Ajax, it would be different because they had 2 games after us. So to me, the games keep you fresh, keep you match fit. But both teams have had 3 weeks off, so it's an equal footing, so it's good. First point. Second point is they both sent players off for 5 days holiday at the end of the season. The players have had the rest. Yeah, they come back and they've had a bit of warm weather training. I don't know how intense that was, or because some of it's done behind closed doors. What we see on TV is just the light-hearted footwork and the chipping and whatever, just for the show. So I don't know how much work they've done. But like you said, what I don't want to hear is, oh, you know, we were tired today. If anyone says that, it disrespect to any team that says that. The 3 weeks, it should be a fantastic match, and both teams should be fresh.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mickey. Rossi says he's out. Thanks, Daz, Connor and Mickey. Everybody take care and keep the faith. You never walk alone. Massive shout out to Rossi. Thank you for joining us today, Matt. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. What else we got? We had somebody else. JO2 says hi to you. Sam, happy birthday for today, mate. I remembered it's your birthday. He says, hello, Daz, mate. But birthday today and hoping for the big one on Saturday. Yes. Don't forget to make your wish, mate. Obviously, just don't tell everyone what it is. I haven't told people what my wish is, but it's Liverpool related. They had practice game behind closed doors, says P Short. Yes they did, but practice games, it's not the same, is it? It's not much different to training for me. You know, it does make a difference. They do need practice games, but they do play football when they train, and they do have little mini tournaments, 5-side tournaments and stuff like that. Football's football. Do you get where my head is at with it? Connor, what's your views? 3 weeks, is it too long of a gap? Do you think it's going to have an effect on the final? Both teams are in the same boat, but will it mean that we don't see as good of a final as what we could have?
No, I think we'll see a brilliant final. I think both teams have had plenty of rests to recharge the batteries and that. And if anyone says that both teams are tired, I don't know how much more of a break you wanted, but 3 weeks for the fans from like the end of the season, it feels too long. You want it like 3 days after it, 'cause you're so hyped for it. But for the players, I feel like it could only be good, and especially for Liverpool, because a fully recharged Liverpool on their day can literally blow away any team, as we clearly see, because we're in 2 Champions League finals in a row. So yeah, I don't think that it'll be a terrible final. I think it'll be a brilliant final, and then hopefully at the end of it, we're lifting the Champions League.
Yeah, hopefully so. Mickey, do you think that this 3 week break has benefited Spurs more than Liverpool. It's something that I've seen online the last couple of days. A few people have spoke about it and said that, with their injuries, we did have injuries as well. You've got to look at Bobby as the main one. Naby Keita's not going to be available for the Champions League final, but Bobby hopefully is going to be. But does it mean that Spurs have benefited from having the 3 weeks a bit more than what Liverpool might have?
Only in the sense they've got Kane back fit. I think if it had been this weekend like it should have been, then Kane wouldn't have played. But as we said earlier, I'm happy that Kane's going to play. I hope he does. I hope he's the first name in the sheet, because I think that gives us a little bit of an advantage, massively. But I don't think it's been an advantage for Spurs. And like you said, I don't think Bobby would have been back if it had been normal time either. We would have been weaker. So we both benefited, really.
Yeah. I definitely think that both teams have benefited. My overall look on it is both teams are kind of in the same boat. So, you can't really say one team has got more of an advantage or whatever. It's just what I've seen online, and I just wanted to get a couple of people's opinions. So everyone in the live chat, do you think they've got more of an advantage, or do you agree with like what me and Mickey are saying? It kind of works for both teams, really. Oro says, I think I know what your wish is, Daz. Nah, wink, wink. Pierre says, players are not machines. They're not indeed, mate. They really are. What else we got? Lucy says, listen, if they can't get up for a Champions League final, they shouldn't be wearing the shirt. Now, I really like what Lucy just said there. I just read that and I wanted to read it out. Connor, do you have the same beliefs here? Even though sometimes you've seen it in the past where players have gone, it was a long season. Klopp said it recently that in the last couple of finals that we've been in, we didn't have the legs, we didn't have the personnel to change it. But when it's a Champions League final, you literally give it everything you've got. You literally run yourself into the ground. And do you agree with Lucy that if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be wearing a Liverpool shirt?
Oh yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with that. If you're not hyped or excited and want to give it literally everything you've got for the shirt, then don't wear it at all. Because this is Liverpool's this is Liverpool's like number one trophy. When you think about it, obviously we don't like the Premier.
And hopefully it'll be number 6 as well.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be number 6.
Yeah, just had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully it'll be number 6, because last year we were all hoping for that. But this year, let's just hope it's number 6. Get that on a t-shirt. But yeah, I fully agree with that. I think that if you can't get hyped at all for the Champions League final and can't put your body on the line, then just say goodbye to Liverpool.
Yeah, I actually don't think there is any Liverpool players that are like that. I actually do feel like Klopp's built a squad now that all have that mentality that is what you do. You give it your all. I mean, look at the season that we just had in the Premier League, 97 points on the table. We didn't manage to win the Champions League final last year, and we go again this year, and we managed to do that in the Premier League, and we got to a Champions League final again. And let's face it, we didn't have an easy task to get to the final either. People were writing us off early on in the Champions League, and then they wrote us off again when it comes to Barcelona. Some of the teams that we've come up against, people writing us off, and the boys just was like, we're not having any of it. Mane, I saw a quote from Mane today over the Real Madrid rumours, and Sadio Mane said something along the lines of, it's always nice to hear things like that, but Liverpool are the team that beats big teams. Spoke so highly of Liverpool and stuff, and I thought, yeah, but we're a big team. We beat all the top teams around the world. That's why we get to Champions League finals. That's why we need to win the silverware, because the players are all being linked with all these top clubs, but Liverpool are a top club as well. So get the silverware back into the cabinet. Stop all of the fans around the world looking at you and going, yeah, you're all right, but where's your silverware? That's what we need to do now. We didn't quite get across the line in the Premier League, but Mickey, winning the Champions League, if we win on Saturday, the first step, mate, that's the first real step, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of points on that. One, every great empire starts with it, like in football, starts with that first trophy.
Yep.
Yeah, there's the build-up, there's the trophy. The trophy then gives you the mindset. We are successful, because sometimes we've always been close and then come up short, and it's affected us, and then we've had 2 or 3 years further down. this could be the catalyst to many trophies. I know we've got the Man City question, but you do need that opposition, that side that's going to push you, because you can't win the league easy every year. You can't win trophies. You need that side. Man City are perfect to push us, but also we're perfect to push them. And let me tell you, opposition fans will hate us winning that trophy because we are the biggest sleeping giant in European football.
Yep.
The biggest sleeping giant. Our fan base around the world rivals Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona. More success brings us more fans from around the world, and them clubs are looking at that and thinking, God, if these start going on a run, getting to the European Cup final every year, we could go on a Real Madrid run and be in the European Cup final 4 or 5 years in a row. The way we're playing, and if that happens, look, success is going to come our way, and this is why we are vilified by all of our fans and hated, because they know once we start winning stuff, the giant just roars. He just awakens and he's running havoc.
I mean, Jurgen Klopp's kind of come into Liverpool like Steve Irwin with a stick, and he's like, it's the most feared club in the world, mate. Let's poke you with a stick. Do you know what I mean? And we are waking up, like what you said, and that, I think, is a massive thing that Jurgen Klopp has done. It's something that now you need the silverware for everyone else to take note of us. Us as fans can see it. We watch Liverpool week in, week out. But for the rest of the world to take note of our players and give them the respect that they deserve, they need to win the silverware. And as we say, the Champions League is the first step. We could win 3 trophies in like 3 games if we win the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? You just get that one in, and then you go again for the next one. And then you go again for the next one. And that is what Liverpool should be doing. That is what we need to be doing. Connor, the sleeping giant, mate, this trophy, it's the start for you as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that when we do go on to win this, I think then the titles will like keep rolling and rolling, because like what Jurgen Klopp said, this is the first year that this team can challenge for everything. It's not the last, and I think we are going to go on a 4 or 5 year rampage on trying to win everything. And when you think about it, every single European competition Jurgen Klopp has been in with Liverpool, he's gone all the way to a final. Okay, we didn't win the Europa League final, and we didn't win last year's Champions League, but he has now got the squad to go, there we go, there's my team. We're gonna go all out, and we're gonna win everything that we possibly can.
Yeah, I agree. Michael says, Daz, we win on Saturday and bet on for 100 points next season. If we could achieve 100 points next year, that would be incredible. I don't know what we manage to do again next year. I think let's get the Champions League bashed out the way. Let's get that. Let's win silverware. And then I think the boys, if they do that, which we hope they do, then I think they're going to be raring to go for next year and push City again. And that's really what we've got to do. We've got to keep the momentum going, the train moving forwards. Speaking about the Champions League final again, obviously, Connor, where do you see this game being won and lost on Saturday?
That's a very good question. I think the midfield battle, I think, would be the win. Well, to decide who wins and loses. I think if Henderson for us can make positive runs and get in those spaces, and that, I think then, well, that could only be good things for us. But then I think with Spurs, I think Eriksen, Dele Alli, Sissoko, they are very good players. That's not undisputed that they are very, very good players. But I think our midfield will just be better than theirs, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mickey, won and lost, mate, for you.
Right, so me, we're quite evenly balanced in midfield, to be honest. Eriksen is a world-class player. For me, it's the battle of the fullbacks. Our fullbacks will be the difference.
I thought you said the battle of the ball bags then.
No, Fullbacks. Full. Not bullbags.
I was thinking, it's the battle of the ball bags, ladies and gentlemen.
Fullbacks. Full. Full. Full bags.
Yeah, full bags.
Full bags.
Sorry, Mickey. Sorry.
So, to me, whoever has the better day from the four full backs, not the ball backs.
Yeah.
That's how we beat Barcelona.
Yeah.
Trent. If Trent has half a good game as he did against Barcelona, I think they're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, I do, mate. I think so as well. Obviously, talking about midfield and stuff and the key battles, maybe, where it's won and lost, you was talking about not ball bags, but full backs. And I'm looking at it and I think Mane, for me, is going to be our most dangerous player. I think looking at a threat going forwards, I think he's the one that seems to step up in big games. He finished the season really strongly. He can score with both feet. He scores with his head so much as well. Who do you think is going to be our most dangerous player, Connor? Do you agree with me that it's Mane, or are you going to go with someone else?
Ooh. Can I be greedy and pick all the front three? They are very, very deadly. But no, the single player out, it's got to be the main man, Mane. Let's be honest. He is the man for the Champions League. I think he, since signing for Liverpool, I think apart from the last round against Barcelona, he has scored in every single knockout stage, I think. Anyway, I could be wrong with that, but I think. So, yeah, for me, he's the man for the occasion, without a doubt.
Yeah, Shah saying Mane, RO saying Mane, hat-trick for Mane, 3-0 says Lee. Thank you so much. Mane going to score 2, I think Liverpool Football Club said, or hat-trick for Mane, he's now changed it to. The ball bag strike back, says Lou back. Yes. Wow, honestly, I don't know what happened. It just all of a sudden I was like, what? I was like, what's he saying? No, it must be fullbacks. Yeah. Oh, God. It's just me. I'm in another world today, ladies and gentlemen. I really am. Yeah, plenty in the tank for Liverpool, says Pierre. Indeed. Like grocery bags, says Richard. Exactly. That's exactly where my mind was, mate, when he said that. That's what I thought he said. Wink.
Let me tell you, the club shop Liverpool bags are far better quality than the Tottenham club shop ones, let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh God. I saw on Twitter earlier. Oh, who was it? Someone basically tweeted out. It was one of the big. It wasn't Sky Sports, but it was something like that. And they was like, Tottenham Hotspur have fully sold out their stadium for the screening for the Champions League final. And I was like, I commented on it and I retweeted it as well, saying, yeah, well, Liverpool have sold out their stadium for the final as well. Take that. Like, I was like, have that and smoke it. Like, I can't believe how many they've actually sold their whole stadium for the final. That's mental.
That's because none of them are going to Madrid.
I hope so.
True.
There's hardly any.
True.
Well, there's no tickets, is there? Do you know what I mean? Like, let's face it. But yeah, I think Liverpool fans are going to be the louder ones, of course, when it comes to the final as well. But their stadium and the amount of people that they've got, that is going to be some screening. And that's why I'm disappointed that Liverpool didn't have it at Anfield again. I know they've got other places that you can go to now, the M&S Bank Arena. Hope that some of you managed to get tickets for that. My lot are going to it. But I was just gutted that Anfield wasn't doing it, because that would have been a great atmosphere as well for people that couldn't go to Madrid. How many of you guys that are watching this are actually heading to Madrid? If there's any of you, some of you might have even been on your way already, because I know someone messaged me the other day saying, I'm going out there a week early just to make sure I have a bit of a holiday and then watch it, and then they're coming back earlier than what some will be. So yeah, let us know your views on that. Mane is 125-1 score hat-trick and a 3-0 win worth a little bit. 125-1 score a hat-trick. What Mane is, Lee? That's incredible. Mickey, would you dabble? Would you dabble in 125-1 hat-trick for Mane?
I would, yes. 125-1. That's amazing odds.
Yeah, I don't know what that's on, but obviously that's what Lee was saying. Colin, what about you, mate? I don't know whether you're a betting man yourself. I don't, but would you be tempted to put a bit of money on that?
I'm not a betting man, but that is very good odds, to be fair. If who put that in the chat?
Lee did.
So Lee, please let us know who that was, because may have a little bit of a gamble on that, but please gamble responsibly.
Did you like this? Connor started off, I'm not a gambling man, and then he's like, who commented that? Lee? And then he's like, right, I need to message Lee on the side. I'll put $1,000 on that, Lee.
I'm going to put £100 on a ball bag to play for Liverpool one day as well.
Oh,
Mate, we've had plenty of ball bags played for Liverpool in the past. I don't even like saying their names. Yeah. Oh God, Konchesky, mate. He was a ball bag, wasn't he?
I can think of somebody worse, mate. Julian Dix.
Yeah.
He's got the right name for it as well, hasn't he?
Oh God. Yeah, 100%. Oh, Gurmit says 3-1 to us. Lovely. Anyone that's just joined, please put your score predictions in the live chat for us. Anthony says 6-0 is at 200 to 1. 6-0 to Liverpool, 200 to 1. I wouldn't bet against that, anyone. I would really take a look at that, because even though I think it's going to be close, I think there's going to be a lot of goals in the final. I just see it being one of them games. You look at Arsenal v Chelsea today, what happened there. Liverpool could literally come out of the blocks really fast and just destroy Spurs for all we know. Arthur says, who's your favourite player? My favourite ever player, mate, is Steven Gerrard, but in this Liverpool team, I couldn't give you my favourite player, to be honest, because I like different players for different reasons. So I'm looking at Bobby, and I think the work rate and what he does, I think if without Bobby, we don't attack the same. I look at Salah and what he's achieved over 2 seasons, and people saying he was a 1-season wonder. He's an incredible player. Mane, what he does for us is ridiculous. And then you look at midfield, and Fabinho coming in, probably the best holding midfielder in the Premier League. I would say we're yet to see the best of him. Gini's been one of our best midfielders this year. Henderson, Captain Fantastic in this new role. Look at him go. He's like Captain America. Like, it's ridiculous. Trent, Robbo, Virgil, Alisson in goal. Literally the whole team. I could literally tell you, I can't pick a name to go on the back of a shirt. That's how much I love this team that we've got, and squad. I love the squad as well. Yes, I think that we could probably add to the squad, but I actually really do like the squad that we've got. I think it's the first time in my history of supporting Liverpool Football Club that I'm looking at it and going, I can't pick a favourite player. What about you, Mickey?
Well, my favourite player of all time is John Barnes. I've never seen a player like I think he's fantastic. But the current one, on skill and sheer excitement, it's got to be Salah. But I'm a Henderson fan because of his passion, his will to win, his love of the club. Yeah, he had a chance to jump ship when things were going wrong a few years ago, and he said, "No, I don't want to go. I'm staying."
Yeah.
And he's made the captaincy his own, and people have blasted him and had a go at him. He's been playing in a position that isn't natural to him and still doing a good job. And now he's playing in his right position. He's box-to-box midfielder. He looks like the player that we wanted to buy all them years ago. And, you don't stay at Liverpool for the years he's done and be a bad player.
No, you really don't. Connor, what about you, mate?
Oh, for me, all time for me is Steven Gerrard. Same with you guys.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard for me was brilliant. He was Captain Fantastic. But in this current team, there's so many to choose from. But for me, it's got to go with Bobby Firmino. He's got the song. He's got the dance moves. No one else in world football, in my opinion, can play the role he does.
Yeah.
And I think that he has just been brilliant since Jurgen Klopp has come into the team. And just to think, a Brendan Rodgers signing actually worked.
Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers did us a favour in signing Bobby Firmino, and I wouldn't want anyone else in that centre forward position than Bobby Firmino.
Yeah, I got a funny feeling though that Mane might become Connor's favourite if that hat trick comes in and Connor wins a lot of money.
Beers are on Connor if that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Lucy says my favourite players, well, there's two of them, Steve McManaman, and very close second was Robbie Fowler. Yeah, Fowler the Prowler, as she's put it. Yeah, very right. Both them players were extremely good. I used to have their stickers. Remember the football sticker collections that you could get? I think they still do them, but I just obviously... Yeah, I literally used to have them all over my lunchbox and stuff at school, and obviously being the only Liverpool supporter, everyone else, all the other lads used to be like, why have you got them on there? And I'm like, because they're the best players in the world. What are you talking about? Like, leave me alone. Go and support your crap Charlton and Chelsea and Spurs and stuff like that. Like, I knew what was coming. I knew we was going to sign Jurgen Klopp even when I was 5 years old. Oh, can you imagine? Take yourself back to when you was all young, really young, and thinking about some of the times that we've gone through as Liverpool supporters and some of the players that you've supported and cheered on the weekends in the games. And then now we're coming into a Champions League final and look at my starting 11 on the screen and think about that. Think about the options we got on the bench, the manager that we've got that's going to be commanding the sidelines. It's an incredible time to be a Liverpool supporter, and hopefully this silverware does come, because on a serious note, like, it's an absolute pleasure talking to you lot daily about Liverpool, updating you, getting your views on everything. But we're going into a Champions League final, everyone. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. We was here last year and it didn't come off, but it's like you feel like just pinch me, because there's not many times and there's not many people out there with the clubs that they support that can say and have been as lucky as what we've had, even though we talk about we haven't had lots of great times throughout some of us, our years of supporting Liverpool. But, you know, there's so many fans out there that they will never see their club get to a Champions League final, and we're literally 3 days away from watching our team hopefully win the Champions League final. That's massive when you think about it like that, isn't it, Mickey?
Oh, it's an amazing achievement. Just to think, a few years ago, we never thought this was possible. It's big. See, this season, Man City have won a treble. They call it a quadruple because they're including the Charity Shield, but it's a treble. Yeah. And that should be held as a great feat. But let me tell you, if also Tottenham, well, one of us is going to win it, so whoever wins the Champions League is going to put that all to the side. No one's going to be bothered about that. They're going to be on about who's won the Champions League. Because you look at Barcelona, they win the league every year, boom, 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 boom. Yet Real Madrid get all the plaudits because they win the Champions League.
Yeah. Massive. It happens every year, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, apart from this year.
Yeah.
To be honest, I wanted a repeat of last year's final and put it right, but this will do me.
I would have took them in the group stages. I really wanted to get Real Madrid in the group stages. I remember talking to some of you lot about it and saying, get Madrid in the group stages, smash them all over the place. That would have been lovely to see, but it wasn't meant to be, was it, this year? They wanted to avoid us, obviously, so they paid a few people off, I reckon.
Well, next season, let's say, quarterfinals against Man United. Oh, they're not in it, are they? Oh, what a shame. Next year, quarterfinals, I want to get rid of Real Madrid again. I want to replay Barcelona. Let's just draw the big sides and go through and win it, beating all the big sides.
Yeah, Connor, do you agree with that? Do you want to get all the big sides next year? I mean, it does make for brilliant nights at Anfield. It does make for great games to watch, but I can't help but feel as a Liverpool supporter, I'm like, I still would like a few Portos chucked in.
I wouldn't mind a Porto again, but I agree with Mickey. I'd love a Real Madrid next year. I wanted them this year, but sadly we didn't get them because they just flopped this season, didn't they? But yeah, I want PSG again, because that did really annoy me. The loss away from home to them. I really want to knock them out of the Champions League.
Yeah, that would be the best thing that we could do, couldn't it, really? Stuff like that. Eddie says, we have finished runners-up 6 times in a row now. We need to step up to the next level. I fully agree with Eddie. That's what we're talking about. To really be considered back at the top where we belong. We need to start winning silverware already, don't we? That's what it comes down to. Nazar says, how you doing, Daz? Seen the Arsenal score? I did, mate. Was it the Arsenal score, or shall we just call it the Chelsea score? Because Arsenal didn't really do much scoring, did they? Yes, mate, I hope you're doing fantastic. Leroy says, miss Fernando Torres. I was gutted when he went. Obviously, he went to Chelsea, didn't he? And yeah, that was one of the players that kind of broke my heart a little bit when he left the club. But at the same time, we did have his best years. We did get a good amount of money for him, especially in that market back then. Is there anyone, if you're looking at the youth setup at the moment, I'm looking at Brewster, right? People are talking about being on the subs bench. We've got a lot more subs this year, as we know. Brewster, do you reckon, Champions League final, could he come on, do a bit of a Fernando Torres, celebrate, but maybe with a 6? Who knows? What do you reckon, Connor?
I'd love him to come on, and hopefully he can celebrate like Fernando Torres, but I don't care who scores in the Champions League final, and I don't care how we score it in the Champions League final. If it bounced off all the Spurs players, I think I'd be happy. But I think that it would be a big sign towards the Liverpool development team that like a youth academy player is playing in the Champions League final. I think that's a huge thing for other youth academies. It's like earlier on, me and Mickey was on about the Chelsea academy. I think the Chelsea academy is a joke. Like sending 60 odd players out on loan, just then to like keep on loaning them out or just sell them in the future. And I think we're using our youth development very good. It's like we brought up Trent, we've brought up all different players that have come through the academy, and they've been superstars. Steven Gerrard as one example, and I think that for how young Brewster is, and to get in.
Connor. I think we've lost Connor there. He went a bit robotic, didn't he, when he's gone? You back,
I can hear him perfect.
I can't hear him. Can anyone hear him in the live stream? There he is. He's back.
I was like, hello.
Carry on, mate. Carry on.
But no, for me, Brewster being in a Champions League final with how old he is just a perfect thing for me.
Yeah, I see Richard saying in the live chat, Origi deserves that honour, Daz. So Origi may be doing that score, but I don't think any of them are going to tempt fate by maybe celebrating like that with 5 really, or doing the 6, because you never know with football, do you? I mean, unless it's literally last second of the game and we're 5-0 up and someone scores and then they do the 6, that would be quite good to see, but I just don't want to see anyone tempt fate really with it. Pierre says Luis Garcia. Yeah, Garcia, what a player he was, eh? Trent is all the example the youngsters need. I believe that. So you look at him, 2 Champions League finals in a row. He's still young and he's got so much room to improve. Getting back to obviously the final as well. Obviously we have spoke about the final a lot in this, and we're talking about other stuff in between. But I'm looking at Trent in this one and Joel Matip at the back. And we spoke about it earlier on, but I said we'd talk about it a bit more in depth. Tottenham are going to target that area a lot. Do you think it would be long balls over the top? Do you think it would be maybe, trying to work it down that side? How do you think Tottenham are going to approach us down that side?
I think if they're going to go the long ball route, it's away from what they normally play. It's the only way to get behind Trent, I think. And he is quite susceptible to long balls over him. We know that. We know that's his weakness, and we know that's what he's got to work on. In time, he will eliminate that. He's only 19, as we've just said. Yeah. If they do that, they play into our hands, because I think Klopp will expect it, and he'll have a plan up his sleeve. I 100% believe Klopp will expect that.
Yeah, I think that's the one way that they can try and pin Jordan Henderson back though from making them long runs, late runs into the box, is by overloading us down that side, because it means that Jordan Henderson will have to concentrate more defensively than maybe pushing forwards, which means then Gene is the one that makes their late runs into the box. But Connor, what's your views on it, mate? Do you see them trying to go long in this game, or maybe working it through the middle or something?
I think if they were to go the long ball route, I think that would be a different tactic to what I think they've used all season. I think the only reason why I think they've used that is to come back from either a losing position or drawing a game. And I think that they've tried to. I remember watching their game against Brighton, and they did it quite a lot with Fernando Llorente, and I think that he's the only realistic player that they can play that system for. But I think they'll just play ball to feet, to be honest with you. I don't think. I think Matip has changed his game so well. He used to panic a lot when balls over the top would come over, but I think now, with the addition of Virgil van Dijk, I think that he's just calmed that defence perfectly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Lee's saying they can approach us basically any way they want. It won't be a problem. I think we're going to have worked on so much in training. We would have looked at everything that they do, how they play. And Klopp spoke about this, and he said if we was playing Barcelona in the final, we would have known everything. Even, I think he said the groundsman, I believe it was. That is how much they find out about the other team. So we would have tried to make sure we know what they're going to bring to us and what they might change in the game. Mickey, how do you think Liverpool are going to approach Spurs? What tactics are we going to be using? We were talking about late runs into the box, but do you see that Liverpool might? We saw, especially I think it was against Wolves, Liverpool trying to bypass the midfield. A lot of talk's been about their midfield, and our midfield, but can you see Liverpool trying to bypass our midfield in this game?
Do you know, I can just see us playing our normal game, our normal, let's slow it down. Then all of a sudden, boom, counter-attack, speed, bump, gone in. I think that's how we've played all season, really. We have tweaked it in certain games. So the thing is, the first 20, 25 minutes, it's looking at each other, isn't it? Unless there's a goal, then it changes the game. But if there's no goal, then Klopp changes it, doesn't he? He starts shouting at him, moving him around. I really, truly believe out of the two managers, they're both great managers, don't get me wrong. I just think Klopp is more tactically aware than Pochettino.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Who's better tactically? I think Klopp is, but it does depend. Is there any of you Liverpool supporters out there that think that Pochettino might have a bit more up his sleeve when it comes to changing things in the game? I know some of you on this channel have said to me before, Klopp isn't the greatest when it comes to substitutes and stuff like that, but I think Klopp's done a really good job. He does change things, and I think he doesn't get as much credit as what he should do in that area. Pablo says we play our usual game with nothing to worry about. Come on, people, the season we've just had, and then balls over the top, still Alisson to beat. 100% agree with that one. Go on, Mickey, you want to speak?
On the subs, that was last season, not this season, just gone the one before. I think this season he's got it right. Look at Shaqiri on against Man United, bang, bang, twice. Our subs have changed the game. Gini came on against Barcelona twice in 2 minutes. I think he's been a lot better this season. And I also believe, from what I'm reading about that is, I know Buvac weren't there for quite a lot of the season before, but Buvac chose when to put the subs on, and the subs, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Buvac was the man that did the subs.
So there's a lot more into that. If you read into it, there's a lot more into it. And I personally believe this year the substitutions have been better. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think he's done it. He's done the right job as far as what I can tell. I mean, look at the season we've just had. Please leave a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the stream so far, ladies and gentlemen. It's muchly appreciated. It does help the channel a lot, even just a thumbs up. If you've liked it, then please do. AK's in the building. Good to see you, AK. He says, I think he's singing because I've seen him saying, oh, Mane, and he's doing Bobby Firmino as well. Si, senor. Need to stop predicting scores, says Al Haji. So what's your prediction then, Al Haji? Connor, what's your views on, this game, mate, and Klopp, tactics-wise? Where do you think Klopp's head is at with it? How's he really going to steamroll this? I hope I haven't already asked you that.
I don't think we have. It's been a very intense Champions League talk. Going back to what you just said though about the substitutions, I think that's the difference between maybe Buvac and Pep Lijnders. I think Pep Lijnders has definitely changed this Liverpool team for the better, but tactic wise, I think that Jurgen Klopp would have thought of everything, like what you just said. I think that he wouldn't have missed anything. We have obviously played him twice this season, and it's just a thing of the day, innit, realistically. But I think we are the better team tactically and player-wise.
Yeah, I think so. On paper, I think most people would agree with us as well. Mark says, love it, Daz, and callers all spot on tonight. Thank you so much, Mark. That's really nice to hear. Mickey, I think I can hear you go.
Yeah, I'll just... So we spoke about this on your streams quite a few times in the close season on the throwing coach.
Yep.
Well, I was in an interview with him the other day, and he said that a lot of Liverpool's goals have come from throw-ins, and if you look at it, he's right, and he says that's down to him. So we got to take a hat off. Klopp has got in these experts because he said, as Klopp's own words is, "I am not the expert on everything in football. I need advisors," and I think the throwing coach has had an important role this season.
Yeah, I think so. I think, like Klopp said, he wants us to be the best at every single aspect of the game. And we're one of the best teams in the world. We're in the Champions League final again, and we finished 1 point just below Man City that everyone's raving about, and seem to think that Liverpool is still crap, even though we nearly won the league. Lee says, rock and roll football is the best football playing with no fear. Indeed. Philip says, I'm bricking it. Philip, you're not alone, my friend. You're not alone. I feel like it. I said every single day that we're getting closer, I'm getting more and more on edge. And on the day I'm going to be a wreck. I'm going to say it to everyone now because I've been saying about doing a watch along, and I said it won't be a normal one or whatever. I've been speaking to my missus. I think what we're going to do is I won't be doing a watch along. I'll be doing a reaction stream afterwards because... it's unfair on trying to lock my son out when really being a Champions League final, I would love to sit down and watch it with my son and missus. It's a big game, innit? So we'll be on straight after the game for a reaction, and hopefully we'll all be celebrating together and stuff. And I hope you all understand that, I wanted to do it, and I know that a lot of you guys would have joined us and we would have had great fun during the stream. But if I'm on a stream, I can't, have my son in the room and stuff, but we want to watch it on the TV with my boy. And please, I hope you do all understand that. And I hope you forgive me, but we'll do the match reaction afterwards, and we'll have a long one and we'll have lots of fun on that. Hopefully. If it don't go our way, then it'll probably be a short one.
We can cancel that stream if we don't win.
yeah. We'll avoid online if we don't win, won't we, everyone? DZB says, good on you, Daz. Yeah, it was just a decision that me and my partner made. We just sat down and spoke about it last minute, and we was umming and ahhing over it anyway. So you do enough for us, Daz. Tony, thank you so much. Yeah, I want to be with you lot, and I will be with you lot that evening. And I'll probably, we'll be on the phones and stuff, won't we? Like messaging like we all do. But just such a big game, innit? And I'm trying to teach him everything about Liverpool. And she just said to me, don't you want to sit down and, show him the final? And I said, actually, thinking about that, yeah, I should be doing that, shouldn't I? So it's the right thing to do. We love you anyway, Daz. Thank you, Monis. Mickey, is there anything else you want to add about this Champions League final, buddy?
Yeah, like I said, win or lose, let's just enjoy the moment because it's another Champions League final. I know it's not going to be good if we lose, and I know we're going to have the rest of the world banter. I'm 100% confident we're going to win. Last year, it was I had confidence, but I weren't 100% confident, if you know what I mean, because Real Madrid are a good side.
Yeah.
Just enjoy every moment, and if we win it, enjoy the whole weekend. Everybody, enjoy. Let's have a party that lasts till Monday. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Let's have a party that lasts all next season. Let's have it. Darkness says, picked out your LFC tattoo. Yeah, it does. No, I haven't, Darkness. I really haven't. Oh dear, I won't be getting a tattoo anytime soon. Go on, Mickey.
In my lounge, I've got a massive like canvas wall art, 5 different canvases that make the 5 European Cups. My only problem now is if we win this one, I've got to come down.
What you need to do, Mickey, is just get a big picture of a ball bag with number 6 on it. That is where it'd be won.
I might do that actually.
That would be something. That would be.
Yeah, I'm just get a picture of Konchesky and put it up. Yeah.
Oh God.
God.
I'd never put him on my wall ever.
No, nor me. I think my house would burn down.
Yeah. Connor, mate, is there anything you want to add about the final?
I don't think I can add anything else to the ball bag, but I'll try. I agree with Mickey. I think just enjoy the experience. I think that this is a cause of celebration for Liverpool. I think this is many finals are still to come, but for now, just enjoy this one. And if we do win it, it's going to be a holiday and a celebration until the Community Shield next year or the pre-seasons next year, and then we'll go again and try and win everything that we can. But no, we should just enjoy it and have fun with it. And yeah, the beers are on me if that bet wins, and then
we'll hold you to that, Connor. Do you know how many people are watching this? We'll hold you to that.
How many people are watching the stream?
Well, there's about 117 or something, it says on my thing now, but if it gets a couple of thousand views, Connor, I don't know how much you're going to win off that bet, mate, but it better be a lot.
That's true, but to be fair, come along, we will meet up somewhere and you can come and have non-alcoholic or alcoholic beers with me. There you go. You can have plenty if we win the Champions League.
We'll find out where you live then.
Yeah, exactly.
We can meet at a secret location.
Yeah. So me and Colin was talking last night, ladies and gentlemen, about the channel and where we're going in the future and stuff like that. And we was just talking about doing a meet-up soon, a get-together. So I said what we need to do really is ask a lot of you lot, because we was talking about a location. What would be the best location? Obviously, myself, I'm based in southeast England. Connor said about doing it up in Liverpool, but I need to get all of your lots of opinions on where a lot of you are based. I know there's so many of you that are, Australia, America, so many countries that do tune in and watch these streams. But if you are local enough that you could meet up and you would be interested in stuff like that, then please do let us know. Leave a comment now, and it's something that me, Mickey and Colin will try and organise to see if we can sort that and meet some of you friendly faces, because that'd be absolutely lovely. And don't forget, obviously, with Champions League being out of the way, hopefully we'll have a lot to talk about, lots of new silverware hopefully by that point. Come on, you Reds, we need 30 more likes, says Richard. 30 more likes till what, Richard? We're not talking about the Daz dance, are we? Are we 30 likes off a Daz dance? I hope not. I'm not in any fit state to be Daz dancing tonight. Father Nature says I'm from Windsor. There you go, Father. So I'm in Central Virginia. If you want to do a satellite, yes, Richard, we're doing it. We're live streaming it at the same time, everyone, to get one in. Hit the likes for the legend Daz. Thank you so much, AK. Ron says good evening, fellows. Enjoying the stream. Daz got me laughing. Thank you so much, Ron. I'm glad you're all enjoying the stream tonight. It's the build-up show, but you know what it's like on this channel. We like to be a bit laid back and just have a bit of fun with it. It's not meant to be professional, is it? It's on YouTube. Some people are very professional on YouTube, and I commend them for doing that. But my channel, it's never going to be shirt and tie, and we like to kick back and talk Liverpool and have fun with the subscribers on the channel and hear your views. Dad, sort out Brexit, please, mate, says AK. I don't think anyone can sort Brexit out, mate, to be honest. I definitely am not getting involved in Brexit. I avoid politics, mate. Like and subscribe to the stream, says Gary. Mickey, you got something to say, buddy?
We're on about winning the European Cup, not taking it away from us.
Yeah. Tony says, will you do a Daz dance if Origi scores in the final? Tony, I will do a Daz dance if Liverpool win the Champions League final, you will see a lot of Daz dancing on the reaction stream afterwards, trust me. God, that's the one thing. Obviously, if I was doing a watch along, then you guys would have seen me run around the kitchen like I do, but you'll still see that anyway on the reaction stream. I'll probably start off going absolute nuts. You know what I'm like? I'm an absolute lunatic, and I really, let's face it, I'll come out with some random rubbish. Liverpool would be great for me. I'm only down the road in Bootle, where Kara's from. Oh, Paul, so yeah. So Liverpool's a good option for you there. It's all fun and games. Yeah, it is all fun and games, Shay. You're exactly right, mate. That's what this channel's about. Getting your views heard, hearing what you lot have got to say. Before I come onto YouTube, I said it to people that have asked before, I just wanted a place to get my views heard as a Liverpool supporter and to hear what other Liverpool supporters had to say. And even though, you know, from the beginning to now we're very close to 10,000 subscribers, I've kept it the same. I still try to read as many comments as I want. We do the call-ins on some streams. You know, I've got Mickey and Connor that call into the show a lot. And you lot are a massive part of this channel and a massive part of the future of this channel as well. And I just don't ever want it to change, because that's why I started YouTube. So I don't see why it should change. Obviously, as it grows and stuff like that, it gets a bit harder. Like these days, it's hard for me to reply to every single comment afterwards and stuff. But you know, as long as we can keep doing what we're doing and what you guys are doing and stuff, I just think it's a really nice place to sit and talk about Liverpool. I enjoy it. Mickey, you know, I think you enjoy the streams. You enjoy talking to everyone as well, didn't you?
This is a channel for the people, by the people.
Yeah.
And we all love Liverpool. That's our main aim. We don't always all agree, but we all love Liverpool. And, you know, and the phrase "you'll never walk alone" is perfect for this channel.
Yeah, 100%. Connor, I mean, me, you, Mickey, a lot of us, I speak to a lot of you every single day, but me and you, Connor, like we said, we've played on FIFA, haven't we, together over the last week or whatever, just having a bit of downtime, just talking, and we always just, even when we're doing other things like playing on FIFA and stuff, we just end up talking about Liverpool. It's in our DNA, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with Mickey. This is a channel that is for the people and is done by the people. We give you our thoughts, our opinions, and we just love the reactions on the videos. The amount of likes since we've been back, the amount of views that since we've been back has been unbelievable. So I just want to thank everyone for tuning in to us, because without you, there'll be none of us. So yeah, so we just want to thank you for that. And yeah, even when we're doing downtime, we're still talking about the channel, guys. It's like a constant tech.
Yeah, we never stop. We're always trying to improve the channel, always thinking about you lot and what we could do to make it better for you, better experience. And, you know, we do take on board what you lot say as well when it comes to, you know, you say, oh, can you do this on your streams? Can you talk about this? We're constantly reading your comments, constantly trying to work on that. So, you know, Tony saying the people's channel, that's what I wanted it to be. And I think that we've kind of achieved that. And as long as it stays that way, then I'll be very happy. It's such a great bunch of subscribers on here that talk about Liverpool daily, and I feel very lucky to have met all of you, you know, through this. And that's what we were saying about doing a meetup. It'd be really nice to actually meet face to face and talking. I saw Anthony was saying, you know, he's in Kent Broadstairs. It's very interesting to meet. So Anthony's down as well. Like, I think there'd be quite a few people that do message me regularly that say, need to do it. Josh says, love your channel. It's like a family. So yeah, maybe we will, guys. We will. If there's a lot of you that are interested in it, drop us a message, me, Connor or Mickey, on Facebook or Twitter or something. And we'll definitely start working to try and arrange that and, you know, get face to face with all of you. Like, that'd be lovely. Nazar says, Daz, who was a favourite today, Arsenal or Chelsea? Because we're favourites on Saturday. Don't even put it that way. I think Arsenal was probably the favourites.
Chelsea were the bookies' favourites.
Were they actually the bookies' favourites? See, a lot of people were saying Arsenal was. Well, there you go then. Well, as long as the bookies thought Chelsea was the favourites, they won. The bookies think Liverpool are the favourites. So,
can I just tell you what's a good omen for us?
Go on.
Aston Villa winning on Monday.
Remember,
on the same day last year, they lost their final the same day we lost ours.
Right, gotcha. There you go. So, good omen, people. Thank you very much, Mickey, for that one. One day I'll come to...
Has the Pope died yet as well?
Oh my God.
I'm not. I apologise for Mickey.
I'm sorry, but you know what happens with the Pope, guys. Liverpool win the Champions League.
Yeah. Richard says, one day I'll come to Merseyside. Tickets on me, Daz. Yes, Richard. Yes, we'll do it. We'll have to go. Daz, can you read back my long comment? It's about one comment back, Tony said. About one comment back. I can't see it, mate. It's not showing up to me, buddy. So I don't know where it is. I've scrolled up and everything. Oh, Daz, I gave money to a child, something or other. I can't pronounce. I can't say that word on this channel because otherwise it would go against me. Chip it later. I done shopping, and when walked home, I found a wet tenner. Talk about getting something back for being good. Yes, definitely, mate. Definitely. If that was a comment you was on about, I think if you're good in life, if you're good to people, you get good come back to you. It's just a positive effect, isn't it? Good karma. And yeah, I'm very much a believer in that, my friend. It's LFC's fans channel, Daz. Keep up the top job. Thank you very much, Bilal. Everyone rooted for Hazard. Huge bets on him going to Real Madrid. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. That was his farewell tonight, wasn't it? See you later, Hazard. No more Hazard against Liverpool in the Premier League. Anthony says, Arsenal need it more. Wanted Derby to win, but almost glad they lost as my favourite teams were all going through. I also wanted Arsenal to win. Yeah, I wanted Arsenal out. Arsenal and Chelsea. Right. Connor, Mickey, thank you so much for coming on to the show tonight. I think we'll round it off there. Please leave a thumbs up, everyone, on the live stream if you haven't already and you did enjoy it. Like I said, it muchly helps us, and we really do appreciate all of you joining us every day and on the streams. And if you was just watching this back on the replay, leave a comment down below. Let us know your views on it all. It's been my absolute pleasure talking to all of you tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Mickey, Connor, thank you.
See ya.
See you.
Connor, take care, guys. I'll speak to you both in a bit. Right, thank you to all of you. Obviously, I think they was brilliant tonight. I know they're like my sidekicks and stuff, but I love getting them on the show. They was absolutely amazing. And I hope that we broke down a lot of the questions I did put out on Twitter and Facebook. If there's anything that you lot want us to, answer, then I told you to leave a comment, and some of you did. So we tried to mix that into the stream tonight. Hopefully we did answer your questions for you lot. Right, enjoy the rest of your days, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. You'll never walk alone. Here's the Champions League final. I've been on the bench, LFC. You've all been legends. I'll see you in the next one.